Monthly using Orange Money and various online payments card. Vibes app is available on the Google Play Store and on Apple Store. VYBEZ. For more inquiries, you can visit our office on Benson and Macklin Street or call them on the following numbers: +231 775 66872 or +231 777 304 304, or visit their website on www.moraviamediagroup.com or email info@moraviamediagroup.com. Get paid today as an artist for your work with Vibes.
Welcome to Circus, where you can find great quality t-shirts, hoodies, and other merchandise inspired by culture and creativity. We offer a variety of unique designs you can rock for any occasion that will fit your style. Visit our website at circus.com, ser-kes.com, and subscribe for exclusive access to discounts, new arrivals, and many more. Thank you for choosing Circus.
Please love them, make me shamanya. I'm a little baby, marama.
Are you looking for a place where to fix your keys if lost or damaged? Or are you thinking on how to duplicate your home, office, or car keys? Don't worry, because your worries are all over. AutoKey Liberia is the best solution to all of your problems. At AutoKey Liberia, we are specializing in all keys programs and professional in other keys and remote support techs. We are located at Say on Time Bourgeois Orland. Find us at Clever Mission Junction, EOW Community. For more information, you can call the following cell numbers: 0777 337 808 or 0886 530 Do business with AutoKey Liberia and thank me later.
Are you in search of a printing press that can handle all your printing needs? Or are you stressed with finding a printer that can deliver all your printing services on time? Then search no more. Your answer is Dream Design Incorporated. Dream Incorporated is a 100% Nigerian home printing press that can handle all your printing problems. Our services include high-quality large format printing, oversized printing, digital printing, design and logos creation, and banners and posters printing. We also print brochures, flyers, postcards, face cap, t-shirts, and ID cards. Dream Design, we pre-finance your work and have a special discount for our customers. We are located at the intersection of Lynch and Kure Streets. For more information, contact us on cell numbers 0776 549 122 or 0806 462 008. Or better still, email us via dreamdesignliberia@gmail.com. It's about time to change your printer for good.
Are you looking for a property to buy or rent? Are you a property owner and looking for a quick and suitable way to sell your properties? Are you looking for a house, an apartment, or land to buy in Liberia, West Africa? Look no further, because Superior Real Estate has all the solutions to your problems. They have beautiful acres of land and comfortable homes for you to buy now. Register and incorporated, Superior Real Estate is bringing honest real estate transactions and a peace of mind to all their clients. Located in Queensville, Superior Real Estate can be reached on 0880 544 111 or WhatsApp them on +231 775 874610. You will not be disappointed. Superior Real Estate you can trust.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Youngster mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. Send Wave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
All right. And welcome to the program. You're listening to the Costa Show. Today is Friday, the 29th day of April. Is it the 29th?
The 30th.
Then I made a mistake with the date, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Costa, and good morning to our many listeners, home and abroad. It's good to be here on the weekend's edition of our show.
It certainly is. Certainly is good to be here. How's the audio? Where I have a brand new computer set up. How does it work?
Yeah, it's good from our end.
Okay, fantastic. I hope our folks are all good. And how are you, my dear people? Is the audio good from your end, from where you are? Can you hear us very well? April the 30th. Thank you very much. I'm gonna make a correction here. So, what news there, Boga? What news in the town? What's the mood in the town?
Yeah, nothing much. Yesterday, Provost Intape appeared to talk
He did.
about.
Yeah. I did not get to watch it, but I saw that he appeared. And go ahead, Boga. Did you watch it? Give us a quick report. How was it?
So yesterday he appears and he was
Appear
asked
before the
about
Liberian Senate, Boga. Be more specific. Appear where?
Yeah.
Appear before the Senate.
the Liberian Senate. So he was asked about giving an update on how far we are when it comes to the 25 million stimulus package. And his report was that 2.5 million people have received
Did
already.
he 2.5 or did he say 2.3? Okay.
2.3 million people have received already in the country. And, that was so surprising to the lawmakers. And they
That is about
expressed
half the population, right?
Yeah. So what he's saying there is that if we, for instance, to the office here, if one person receive, one person have received in a household and another person haven't received, because that's half of the population of Liberia that have already received. So that's what he's saying. And then the lawmakers say that it is not true. It is not true because all of the reports, he said he worked along with the WFP. They carry ahead, they did all of what they should have done, but certain places in the country, like Lofa and other places, they haven't reached yet because of bad road conditions. So in subsequent time, they'll be reaching there to go ahead with the distribution. So he said 3.5 million. That's 2.3 million have received
What are you
already.
keeping that number? It's 2.3 million people. That's about 50% of the population.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I saw that the senators were not very impressed with the report by Wilson Tape. The report into the stimulus package execution and implementation. They don't believe him that many people have received or did receive any kind of stimulus support. That's what they think. But the point is, Boga, what are they going to do to Wilson Tape and the government? Zilch, nada, absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
They will not take any action. Boga, you know that very well.
Yeah.
All they did yesterday was nothing but a waste of time. It was a charade, acting like they're disappointed, acting like they're going to take action. They're not going to take any action at all. So what we witnessed yesterday was a useless legislature which does not exercise its oversight responsibility, less busy, having nothing to do, inviting Wilson Tape and making it seem like they're concerned about the fact about the distribution of the stimulus package. Now, they should have demanded a better report than that. They should have asked him to actually submit the data. They should have asked him to tell them exactly in which county, every county in which people were given stimulus package support. But of course, they're not going to do that. They're not interested in that sort of thing. That is the trouble we have. So Wilson Tabe said what he said and got up and left. Now, Bwaka, if 2.2 million people, according to Wilson Tabe, across the country receive stimulus package support, at least you should know people personally. Bwaka should know people personally who receive stimulus package support. George West should know people who received. Emmanuel Weah should know people who received. Anthony Heron Costa David should know people who received. Sylvester Teves Nash should know people who received. But do you know personally, Bwaka? And I speak for yourself. Do you know anybody who personally received stimulus package?
Absolutely not. But where I do live, they came, they marked the house, they marked every place, all the houses there, and we didn't receive. Nobody at all. Up to now, the people are disenchanted. They say, oh, you can't take your truck from our house because you just can't mark the house and without all receiving anything.
Now, that's the thing. Now, they didn't bring anything back. And they did the marking, they did a demarcation. I think they hired the folks from Legis. The Legis folks were the ones who were deployed to do the marking so that they would come back and bring the food. They didn't bring the food, Waka. The whole thing was a sham. They stole the money. Okay, forget the food supply. Now let's go on to another aspect of the stimulus program. According to them, they were going to go to commercial banks like Access Bank and other commercial banks, and they were going to do a complete assessment of all of the small business loans that had been given to Liberian business people to do business. And they were going to combine all of those loans, and the government was going to write them off. The government was essentially going to pay on behalf of those small borrowers who had borrowed money from the various commercial banks. That's what they said. They said they had 10 million for that. That's what they said they would do. Guess what? That hasn't happened. I know of many people who expected to benefit. In fact, they said they were collecting fees from these people. If you were a small borrower, small business person, and had borrowed money from one of these commercial banks, people were told that you would have to pay a little fee to register so that you would be a beneficiary of the government loan write-off program or pay-off program. People paid money. That's what I'm told, Waka.
Yeah.
They solicited fees from people, business people. Some people say $200, some people say $300 USD. And guess what? The government never paid anybody's loan. Now, if you were out there, perhaps we could be wrong. If you were out there and you benefited from the government small loan scheme or not loan scheme, the payoff your loan at a commercial bank, call us and say, hey, my loan was paid. Costa, you're lying.
You're lying.
If you tell us that, we will put out that information. But I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who signed up, who paid a registration fee, expecting that their small loan with Access Bank or EcoBank or IB or one of those banks would actually got paid. I don't know anybody. Okay, these guys are criminals. These guys are terrible.
And not only stopping their Costa, they also promise providing free electricity for over a period of time.
That's what they said.
Carbon water again. They also promised that.
Yes. In the stimulus package, they said they were going to provide electricity token cards.
Yeah.
They were going to go into the communities and they were going to provide token cards for people. That is for those of you who don't know, you are in America, for example, you don't know how electricity in Liberia is prepaid for those who are not stealing current. What you do is you buy the credit, the token card, and then you, of course, they give you the code, the number, you insert it, and then you reach out. That's what they said. But they never did. They never did that. Again, tell me someone, if you are one of the beneficiaries, now there are thousands and thousands of people who listen to us and who watch us every day. If you are one of the beneficiaries, if you got your electricity bill paid, or you received free government electricity token card, please let us know. Perhaps we're wrong. We just might be wrong, and that's a possibility. But again, if you tell us and you received it, fine, tell us that. Tell us that. Okay, these people are such bold-faced criminals. They borrowed $50 million from the IMF for this program. They stole the damn money, and they think they're gonna get away with it. Now, Kanio Babalan, that idiot, that guy who was once my friend when I believed he was a good man and he meant well, and he went to the LACC and he showed himself to be nothing but a smooth, terrible, petty criminal. That's all that he is. There's no money at the LACC. So, he's been misbehaving there. He goes to Sierra Leone, Freetown. Sierra Leone man will say Salon. He goes to Salon and he does a photo op with the head of the ACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission of Sierra Leone. That is the direct counterpart of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. Kanio Babala stands alongside Francis Ben Kaifala. That's the fellow's name. Francis Ben Kaifala. Now, this guy in Salon has been doing such a fantastic work. Everybody knows that. If you've been following Francis Ben Kaifala, you would know that he's an amazing guy. He's been doing incredible work at the Anti-Corruption Commission in Salon.
Sure.
Kanye Babala goes there and he's trying to say, we're here to learn from your experiences, to share experiences with you, how you've been fighting corruption in Sierra Leone. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy is a fool. Do you think Francis Ben Kaifala does not know that you are a thief yourself? You, who should be fighting corruption, are a thief. And you go to Liberia and to Salon, you waste our money, you go there on a useless trip, a photo op, you stand there alongside Francis Ben Kaifala, a young man who has so far exuded and displayed nothing short of integrity and credibility that has captivated the imagination of the international community. His efforts, let me repeat, the individual efforts of Francis Ben Kaifala, the head of the Salon's Anti-Corruption Commission, led to the Americans awarding another Millennium Challenge Corporation package of $400 million to the Sierra Leoneans. Why? A few months ago, the Sierra Leoneans had the MCC account recredited. They had it recredited this time with a much bigger amount, $400 million. The Sierra Leoneans received from the United States government under the MCC. The MCC, for those of you who do not know what it is the Millennium Challenge Corporation. It was established by Congress in 2004 under former President George Bush as a new philosophy toward American aid, where they tie aid to a number of indicators that you must attain. If you attain those indicators on your scorecard, and I think it's about 19 indicators or so: good governance, transparency, accountability, fighting corruption, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. If you attain them, now you don't have to score 100, but if you attain a considerable mark, the Americans would give you aid under the particular program called the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Now, several years ago, back when Ellen Johnson was president, I believe it was 2016 or 2015 or somewhere around that time, we received $257.9 million under the MCC. That money has long been exhausted. Now, Liberia did not qualify. Our idiot of a president, George Manawia, he stood up there. He asked the Americans, "Oh, we want you to please help us. We know we failed in the MCC on the MCC scorecard. We did very badly. We want you to send us a study class teacher." This idiot, George, dim-witted simpleton, thought that the MCC scorecard is like an assignment. You need a teacher, a study class teacher. He actually literally verbalized those words that send us a study class teacher. We know we failed. We want you to please send us a study class teacher so that we can. This guy said those words at a program where they were dedicating or they were commissioning a brand new equipment that the Americans, the MCC money had funded to procure that equipment for the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. Joey, a student, told the Americans, please send us a Sedecrat teacher.
Yeah.
For us to pass. Now, this guy is so stupid. I don't know what did he think? That the MCC is like a study class where they give you an assignment for you to do better. You have to have a study class teacher. What an idiot this guy is. A classified, glorified, unsophisticated idiot. That's what he is. And the Americans probably laughed. Is George Weah serious? Did he just ask us to send a study class teacher to help Liberia pass on the Millennium Challenge assignment? You think that's some kind of assignment, like a physics assignment, like my assignment I did yesterday, Energy and Environmental Political Science 370 assignment? Do you think that's what it is? Oh, we know we're not doing well in our MCC, on our MCC scorecard. We beg you, please send our study class teacher so the study class teacher can help up. Do you not know that when you steal money in a brazen fashion to build mansions all over the place, when you and your lieutenants violate the rights of people, do you not know that and you undermine people's democratic rights? Do you not know? We have that audio. We had that audio before. I need to find it somewhere. We had that audio. This idiot, this joker of a president stands up there in front of the Americans. And he made a request. Well, apparently, Julius Mada Bio asked for a Sedecrat teacher too. They might have sent him a Sedecrat teacher, and the Sedecrat teacher asked him to assist them in doing their assignments and submitted them on time, and as a result, did not have points deducted for late submission. And as a result of that, they scored a high mark, which led to them receiving $400 million. I am sure this Sanama Swan, when you hear by MCC, Millennium Challenge Corporation, what are they talking about? Maybe that assignment. Look at our school card. Then he said when I was in school, back in the day, when I was in school, sometimes when they give a test, we gotta go study for the test. I said, Jesus Christ, the Nazareth Giga level. Did they just compare the MCC to his assignment when he was in school? Is it how dull this son of a swan Billy Goat of a president is? He's sitting there telling the people, oh, when I was in school, back in the day, when I was in school, when a friend used to do a homework for him, an assignment, everything, he is saying, the American must send us Sedecrat teacher. Jesus Christ. And yesterday I was on Spoon Talk. And that stupid boy called Isaac Doe talking about, I'm more educated than you. You work for a government, a president who is an absolute classified, incorrigible idiot who cannot spell his own name correctly. I'm pretty sure if you ask John Weah to spell his name correctly, he would make a mistake. He would make a mistake. And you dare question somebody's educational background when you work for the most unsophisticated, the most ignorant president in the entire world. Now, Boakai, I have done some research. I am yet to find any president who is dumber, who is stupider than George Weah. I am yet to find any president whose ability to communicate himself is as bad as Weah's. I'm yet to. And the lieutenants dare open their mouths to question somebody's educational ability when they work for an idiot who became president only because Ellen Johnson Sirleaf decided that she wanted someone who would protect her.
Yeah.
Christ and Nazareth. So back to Kanyo, the damn idiot. So Kanyo goes to Sierra Leone. He does a Photoshop with Francis Ben Kaifala. Now, by the way, Francis Ben Kaifala, upon becoming the Anti-Corruption Commission chair of Saloon, has been able to recover millions and millions of millions and millions and millions of dollars in stolen money. Oh, I subdued them yesterday on Spoon Talk. All the seditions, they went helter-skelter. When you drop a missile, back in the day, during the war, when an RPG is launched, and when the guys see that the RPG is headed towards them in their direction, what they would do, they will all spring, leap, leap from their positions and trying to secure cover before the rocket lands. Because when they does and the explosion takes place, oh, the particles would just obliterate them. That is what happened. I said, Do Chile. And Kev Hassan brought all his stupid things up and nothing. I destroyed them. I subdued them. I tabe them. Oh, I enjoy myself. Oh, I enjoy
Very
myself.
nice.
And that is exactly what I did. And yet these boys, I said, though, only came back upon my departure. After I had left, the idiot came back. And he said, I'm more educated than Costa. I'm this, I'm that. And I know I'm not a blackmailer. You know, that's what they all say. When I don't support them, then I'm a blackmailer. Right, boy guy?
Sure.
The 10 months that I supported the damn fools, I was not a blackmailer. The moment I started to call it quits and deal with them, then I became a blackmailer. That is what they all say about me. Oh, he's a blackmailer. So who do I blackmail? Do I blackmail opposition people? But if I am a blackmailer, who do I blackmail? Do I blackmail Joe Buckeye? Do I tell Joe Buckeye, oh man, Joe, I will talk about you if you don't give me money? Oh, but I thought the people I will blackmail are people who got money. The government. Yeah. So then if I blackmail the government people, then why the hell don't they expose me? That's the point. If I blackmail the government people, why the hell don't they expose me? Destroy Costa. Destroy me now. If I call you and say, give me 5,000 US, give me 10,000 US, I got bad information on you. Why don't you blackmail? Why don't you destroy me? Record me and destroy me, you son of my swine. You don't got nothing to say. I will deal with them. And kept there with his fundamental speech impediment. Let me tell you something. The thing with Kev is this, right? You know, I see people say all the time, Kev Hassan, his problem is that, you know, there are some people who are dumb, but they can talk fast. They can communicate themselves. But the thing with Kev is that Kev has a dual dimensional problem. He talks slow and he talks stupid. Two problems. If the man will talk slow, you're thinking he's composing something sensible. But the moment he completes saying what he struggles to say, then you will say, you mean to tell me the ball took all the time here just to pull the nonsense together? The ball, he can take time to package the nonsense. Then he finally presents the nonsense. Then you get very disappointed that I had to wait all the while to let the idiot pull all the nonsense together. I said, Dopa, with his stupid English way, subject verb can agree. I'm more educated than you. You think when you got one master's degree, you think that's what makes you educated? You educated before you leave your job in America to go wherever job we had to make $3,000-4,000. I'm more successful than Costa. I built businesses. Hello, I built businesses. You dancing on my swan with money and job we will not pay you. Now you won't compare yourself with me. In every facet. I am Henry Pedro Costa. One of the most recognized Liberians alive. Africa Report says I am the 33rd most influential, and I don't say that to brag. I'm only stating I have so much confidence in myself, and sometimes it comes across to some people as cockiness and arrogance. It is not being arrogant. When you are confident in yourself, when you've got unlimited self-esteem, and your self-esteem has got no question mark about it, and sometimes people think you're arrogant. I am not arrogant. I am confident. That is what I am. I am Pedro. I do not need validation from idiots. I do not need anyone to tell me that I am what I know I am. Because I know what I am and I know what I am not. That is what makes me Pedro. No. So you know what? So you know, I sit down there, I see the boys, they're struggling, and you know what? I keep dropping the missiles. I just keep dropping the missiles, and they all be springing for cover, springing like the bullfrogs and the toe frogs that used to live with Nantanda McGill right there in his backyard. You know, that boy lived in that swamp for so long, and by no means am I saying, you know, I lived once. Many years ago, we used to live in a very swampy area. I know that for a fact because I know that. But when you have lived in a swamp for so long, Bwaka, you can distinguish the noise of a toe frog or a spring frog. You can even tell almost how old the frog is. You can tell whether it's 8 weeks old or it's 4 weeks old You can tell almost the size when you hear it making noise. McGill is a specialist in frog noise. Frog noise. Frog noise. McGill lived in that swamp for so long. That idiot who today brags that he's got money. That son of a swine. That boy. Did I not tell you the story about his father, how he was 9 years old when his father died? The lightning struck that bugger. Even after his death, he got beat or something because he was so wicked. The wickedness of his father, people, when they bewitched him, and that is how McGill's father died, because of the wickedness. And when he died, his name is Mobai. McGill's name is not McGill. He isn't McGill. That's not his name. That's not his paternal name. That name is an assumed name. It's a borrowed name. Their real name is Mobai. That is McGill's name. McGill's father died. He suffered. He got big. He was commissioner of the Bella district. He was a wicked, cruel guy. He treated people very badly. Old man Flumbo Yasia and others exploited them, stole the money that the Americans provided for them to construct a school there in the place. And he used the money for the school project to build his own house. And when he died, and they put him in a casket, and they took him in front of his house, the lightning struck and split the house into two. I said the house that McGill father built was stolen money. The lightning struck the house, split it into two, opened the casket, threw McGill's father's dead body in one side, and threw the casket one side. I'm telling you, that McGill man is so. Say now that a brand. You know, these jokers, everything they ever promise. No, I will talk about your father. That is why he took the stealing from, my dear brother. A father. You know, they say sometimes the ways of the father or the mother are inherited by the children. And so apparently that's where McGill took the wickedness from and the stealing. I will talk about his father. You understand? I will talk about Epa. Epa was a rogue. Epa was a government official. Hey, hold up. McGill's father was not a private citizen. He was a government official. He was district commissioner of the Bella district in what is today called Bapolu. And the stealing of McGill's father is what followed McGill. Now, he's bad, he's wicked, and all that kind of stuff. And perhaps today he dies. Maybe that's how the thing will happen. The lightning was striking. That house he built, what he bought for $200,000+ was stolen money. I hope lightning strikes it too and split it into two as it did his father's house. And I will tell you the truth. You know me, I ain't give a damn. That's why these boys are afraid of. They're afraid of me. You can put all of them together. I will line them up, put them on my knees, and spank their behinds as if they were my 5-year-old son. That is what I would do to them. But we're gonna go to the phone lines. We're gonna take some calls. There, they talking about. I ain't educated. You educated before you went for a damn Billy Good of a President George Manuel. We are damn thief. Yeah, I mean everything we boys do, they gotta steal. You give them money for that to steal it. You give them money for that to steal it. You steal a stimulus money. You steal the other money. You know, nonsense. Let's take some calls there. These boys are not civilized people. You don't talk to them in a civilized fashion. I do what I do. I sound the way I sound when I'm talking to them because I know who they are. The way you prick them, you hurt them is when you talk to them in this way, in a very demeaning way. I do it strategically. I do it purposefully. I know what it does to them. I know the kind of sentiments, the kind of feelings that my words, my expressions engender in these boys. I know the reactions. They feel very bad because they have low self-esteem. All the money they steal. Do you know why George Ria wants to be sleeping with all these fine girls all over the place? Because George Ria has a fundamental self-esteem problem. He feels so lowly because you know what? He ain't got nothing in your head. Let me tell you something. When a man is limited up here in the head and he finds himself he amounts somehow into a position where he knows he does not belong, he struggles with his self-esteem. He questions himself. He knows that, he struggles to reconcile himself with his current reality. He says to himself all the time, do I deserve to be here? And they find all kinds of ways to fill that void, that self-esteem void. He thinks that when he builds big mansions, it's going to make him feel important. It still doesn't. He thinks that when he flies a private jet, it's going to make him important. It still doesn't fill that void. He thinks that when he wears a $12,000 pair of shoes, he thinks it's going to make him. It still doesn't make it important. He thinks that when he sleeps with everybody's women, He sleeps with all the people's women. He thinks they're gonna make him important. It doesn't make him important. He thinks that when he sleeps with Jackie Appiah because he's a movie star, it's gonna make him important. It still doesn't make him important. He thinks that when he sleeps with Angela Liz, whose skin looks like milk, it's gonna make him feel important. It doesn't make him important. You would be an idiot. You would be a low self-esteem son of a swine until the day you die because you ain't know shit. And all you know how to do. So that is why George Weah does what he does. He has a void, a massive void. The man is a classic case of fundamental, acute, chronic low self-esteem. No matter how much money he steals, that void is not going to be filled. No matter how many people's women he sleeps with, that void will not be filled. No matter how many mansions he built, that void will not be filled. That is the problem they face. Now, when you have a president, and so that's why when he gets up and says, anybody who insults the president, I will put you in jail. I mean, you are the damn president of the republic, for Christ's sake. Should you care what somebody says to you, whether somebody insults you? It shouldn't even matter. But when you have a fundamental self-esteem problem, that is when you are worried. Look at me, I'm Pedro. You call me names, you think that bothers me? It does not bother me. You tell me you are more educated than I am, you think that bothers me? You can't even speak English. How dare you question my very, very sound, largely self-educated foundation? How dare you say, you think that's going to bother me? It doesn't bother me. I don't need your validation. I don't need you to tell me that I'm smart because I know that I'm smart. And so when you reach that point, that's when people say, oh, you're cocky. Oh, you're arrogant. No, I have a very, very, very high confidence, very, very high self-esteem. So that's the problem. Your president would sleep with all the fine women in town, and he would still feel a void, a massive void. He wants to sleep with all of his friends' wives and their girlfriends. He will still feel that void. You know?
I mean, in my own country, you're trying to track him down the morning.
Yeah, but I'm tracking the men down. That's what I do. That's why I talk to them the way I talk to them, because I know it hurts them. McGee said, man, the men, the whole president of the country, they're praying. You be talking to the praying that he made a man feel bad. You whole president, I sort of make you feel bad. If I were president, do you think some talk show host, no matter how loud, no matter how outspoken, no matter how critical, no matter how eloquent he is, do you think his words would really make me feel bad? Because it tells me I'm an idiot, because it tells me I'm a joker, because it tells me I'm an empty-headed billy goat. Do you think that would make me feel bad? If I were not an empty-headed billy goat, if I were not an idiot, if I were not any of those things, I would not feel bad. But because I am those things and more, that is why it hurts me, because I'm an empty-headed billy goat, because I have such an acute, chronic case of low self-esteem. That's why his words pierce me as though they were a knife. That's why it hurts the man. They're cussing me. They've been cussing me on Facebook. Look at you, president, and you are a damn crap, baby. They're cussing you on Facebook. They're cussing me. That's why you should cuss the man, because that's what hurts him. When you cuss him, it hurts him. When you criticize him, it doesn't hurt him. He doesn't understand that because he's limited. I understand that, for example, you go to a job, and say, you George Weah, your government is very incompetent. And does he really understand the meaning of the word incompetent? You're heading your head. Tell him, man, George Weah, you are a damn rule. You son of a swan. Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls. I'm Henry Pedro Costa, and I know the medicine for these buggers. You don't just cost them bye-bye cost. No, you cost them in a strategic way. You expose their lack of self-esteem or their highly limited self-esteem. You expose their lack of brain power, and that's what you expose. What do you think hurts McGill the most of all the things I say about him? When I say that among the Winston Tubman camp, right? Of all Winston Tubman's close lieutenants at the time, McGill was the least intelligent. He didn't read books. He didn't do any of those things. All he did was to play juju and to ask kiss. That hurts McGill. It hurts him more than anything else, because that's the truth. Because he knows that. What do you think I'm going to tell McGill? Oh, McGill. No, McGill was just that. A classic ass kisser and somebody who has no intellect whatsoever. Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls there. This morning, Isaac Vad Tupa will join us on the program as usual. And today we will focus on agriculture, mechanized agriculture, as a fundamental, if not the most critical thing that could leapfrog Liberia out of its current woeful economic state, create tens of thousands of jobs, um, enhances it could enhance the country's strengthen the country's domestic currency. It could also ease the reduce the the situation of capital outflow. I mean, the benefits of agriculture tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. But okay, let's take some calls there. And Isaac Vatupa will join us later on the show.
Okay, so before we go to the phone line, yesterday I received call from Maryland County. The last time when the citizens there had a protest, the Liberia National Police took 100 manpower from here to Maryland County, and since they took them there, they haven't been feeding them. When they were going, they gave each person 17,000 LD, and since then they haven't been feeding them. Even shelter, there is no shelter, so they have.
The police?
Yeah.
You mean the police officers?
Yeah. The police officer they took from here
to maintain law and order.
Yeah, the police officer they took from here. So since then, they can't receive anything, no food, no good shelter. So they are expressing their frustration. It's so frustrating. They took them from here, carried them. Their family people are here, and they can't receive anything from them, and they are just there doing nothing.
That is extremely sad. It is extremely sad. Look, folks, I read a letter of complaint from a Liberian soldier who is currently on deployment embedded with the UN peacekeeping operations in Mali. He wrote this letter of complaint against a superior officer who, according to his daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, this military, this officer has been sexually sleeping with his 16-year-old daughter. Of course, that's statutory rape. It is just very, very, very sad. I'm going to read for you this letter. Braga, have you seen it?
No, not yet.
Well, I have it here. It is extremely unfortunate. When I read it, I felt very bad. This soldier is out there in Mali. He is serving humanity, representing Liberia, and his 16-year-old daughter, who apparently lives on the barracks, is being sexually exploited by a superior officer. So he wrote this memo, this complaint. I'm going to read it. To Major General Prince C. Johnson III, Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of Liberia, UN Drive, Monrovia. Through Major Wilson, the Basili M. Wilson, Contingent Commander, Liberia Base Defense Unit, AFL, Timbuktu, Mali. From Sergeant Obento Roberts, Contingent Member, Liberia Base Defense Unit, AFL, Timbuktu, Mali. Date 26 April 2021. Subject: formal complaint against Lieutenant Colonel Williams Yankun Williams, as his full name, Commandant of the Armed Forces Training Command, for having sexual intercourse with my 16-year-old daughter, Miss Ketura Amuchi Roberts. This is just sad. I read this letter of complaint. I felt very bad. Dear sir, with deep regret, through your office, I write to officially complain Lieutenant Colonel Yankun Williams, Commandant of the Armed Forces Training Command, for having sexual intercourse with my 16-year-old daughter, Miss Ketura Amuchin Roberts. While I am serving humanity through peacekeeping in Mali, I was informed by my daughter that Lieutenant Colonel Williams has been influencing her with alcohol and money to have sex with her. She also told me that there was a time she wanted to tell me but was afraid because, according to her, Lieutenant Commander Yankun Williams has a long knife in his place, that he always threatening her that if she ever told someone, of course, he would hurt her. I was also informed by my daughter that on several occasions, Lieutenant Colonel Williams would put her in his car for a trip to Camp Todi. Sir, my daughter is underage and needs to be protected by the law. She told me in November 2020, he invited her to his place in Cam Ward to watch, but later told her he never had any clothes, but just wanted her to sit with him. Now, folks, this other part is graphic. I'm going to read it. In that process, he started to use his fingers in her vagina. She also told me on many occasions he used her for sex. I talked with my wife overseas, my relatives, and others about this issue, and I am seeking that the law will prevail. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Best regards, Obento Roberts, Sergeant Contingent Commander. Now, folks, there you have it. An AFL soldier explaining, I can imagine with agony and pain, how a superior officer, a commandant.
Yeah, and Costa, let me just, he got relief of his post yesterday.
Huh?
He got relief of his post yesterday.
Who?
The doer of the act.
Oh, do you have a statement to that effect?
Yeah, from the
AFL?
Defense Ministry, yeah.
Yeah, let's find that statement. But getting relief of his post is not the only thing. Bwaka, he needs to be criminally prosecuted. This is statutory rape. Having sex with a 16-year-old girl is rape. He needs to go to jail. Oh, that's not enough. You tell me, oh yeah, he got relief. Having sex with a people's daughter and threatening to kill her if she goes and she tells anybody. Let's find that statement. I want to see exactly what they say in it. That man should be dishonorably discharged and turned over to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution for the commission of rape, statutory rape. And right now he should be behind bars because rape is a non-billable offense. It's a non-billable offense. So they're telling me that, you know, whatever, that's not enough. It is not enough. Now let's take some calls there, Bwaka. Let's go to the lines.
Yeah, I just sent it to your WhatsApp. So
okay, thank you. Okay, good. Now we have the statement here. AFTC commandant relieved of post. These boys are so stupid. You should not say relieves. It's relieved. Now the boys are no bogo. Relieved of his post. I know who wrote this thing. Probably that boy, Simon Collins, the assistant minister. He ain't no shit. Yeah, he wrote this nonsense. Let me read for you. AFT's commandant relieved. It should be relieved of post. Barclay Training Center, Monrovia, 29 April 2021. The Armed Forces of Liberia, AFL High Command, has relieved Lieutenant Colonel Yankun Williams of his post as Commandant of the Armed Forces Training Command on allegation of rape. The AFL High Command has forwarded Lieutenant Williams to the military police to face investigation. The military police will conclude said investigation on May 10th. Oh, they already know the date the investigation will be concluded. And submit its findings to the AFL High Command for further actions. On April 26, 2021, a soldier presently serving the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Mali formally complained Lieutenant Commander Yanku E. Williams of having sexual intercourse with his 16-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, the soldier has been recalled from the peacekeeping mission to aid the military police in investigation. The AFL High Command assures the public that all recommendations emanating from the investigation will be fully executed. At the same time, the AFL is assuring the public that it remains a force for good and will not tolerate any act that has a propensity to undermine the integrity of the armed forces of Liberia. Now let's go to the phone lines and take some calls there. They say this joker has been relieved of his position. I hope the investigation is speedy, and I hope he is forwarded to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution as a rapist, having sex with a man's 16-year-old daughter and threatening to kill a lady. What kind of nonsense is that? You damn billy goat. All the big women out there, you want to have sex with them, you can't go approach them. That small guy, you go take advantage of. Let's go take some calls there, boy.
0770102 0555102 and the WhatsApp number is +231 888 That's the WhatsApp number. Call and you'll be live with us this morning on the Costa Show.
And Isaac Vatukpa will join us later on. Let me now send the link to Isaac Vatukpa. Let's take some calls there.
Good morning, Parker.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, Parker, this is Superman, and I join you from Pecan Gun Pass account.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Let me say thank you to Mr. this morning. And my only concern is that sometimes issues are stressed, but we need to leave the personal attack.
No, we will not do that. We will do the personal attack.
It's a kind of issue that needs to be addressed.
We will do the personal attack. When you are a role, we'll deal with you personally.
The issue of the LCC is one of the areas that the United Nations, even the U.S. Treasury Department has some interest in. So Liberia needs to look at the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission Department to put effort into it, because that's the only way our government can be trusted.
Okay.
So when we sit here and we feel that we want to fool people that our system is correct and we lie, our system is not correct, we might not get the support.
Thank you so much. I'll take somebody from the WhatsApp number this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Broker, and good morning to Henry Costa.
Yeah, where you joining us from? Your name?
Yeah, this is Edward, and I'm calling from India.
Okay, Edward.
Broker, please, I have been a regular caller on the show, but I stopped calling for some time because of the amount of COVID-19 cases that we have in India.
Sure.
So please, I just want you to give me 1 minute so that I can be able to discuss what I have to discuss. I beg you, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, Henry, Broker, I want to say thank you to you guys this morning for the show. And I just have a few points to discuss. Firstly, I want to respond to Professor Wilson Tappe yesterday's appearance in the House of Senate. You see, firstly, our problem is ourselves. Let us not try to shy away from the fact. The senators, the lawmakers, they are our problem. Let us try to face in reality. This stimulus package, there was no need for stimulus package in Liberia. We all know that there was no COVID-19 in Liberia. Liberia don't have hospital. Liberia don't have medical doctors. Liberia don't have equipment. How is it that Liberia have already concluded with COVID-19? We that is in India, we are in 2 years in COVID-19. Henry is in the US. He know how many cases is in the US. Liberia don't have doctor as compared to India. They don't have hospital as compared to India. They don't have equipment as compared to America. How is it that these two countries still battling COVID-19 and Liberia have completed COVID-19? It is not possible. We all know that the stimulus pact it was just to steal from we the Liberian people, because it is we who is going to pay back that money.
Okay.
And also yesterday I saw that the foreign affairs minister gave 30,000 to Fede Wise on behalf of the president. Come on, guys. It is our taxpayer money that are giving people to go to Ghana for treatment. Why can't we put that 30,000 in our hospital in JFK, in Catholic Hospital in Liberia, and so that money can stay right in the country? You are going to other people's country to develop their it's not fair to us with the Liberian people. And we, the ordinary voter, we are not going to see these things and talk about them. It is bad. We know that there was no COVID-19.
All right, my brother, thank you.
Okay.
Come on.
Thank you so much.
Listen, folks. Philip N. Wisa, call him the Gina. He is very unwell, very sick, critically ill. I want to take this opportunity to convey my best wishes for his speedy recovery and my fervent prayers. I hope that Gina will recover so he can continue to do Gina business. He's a very colorful character, very interesting man. He is the publisher of the Inquirer newspaper, and we still need you around, Gina. I'm told they have flown him out of the country. So George Weah gave $30,000, and they got to make a big deal out of it, that personal money, to fly Philip Wisa out of the country. Again,
he shouldn't come and talk about it like he did for the vice president, the former vice president.
He will talk about it. The day Gina come back, and I know he will, God willing, and Gina writes a story about George Weah that Weah does not like. Weah was it. You remember that man was sick again, $30,000 to go for treatment. Joe Weah would do that. That is who he is. The man that Big Peking. Let's take some calls there. Big Peking. That's who he is.
Let's take this person here. Good morning.
Good morning, Buckeye, and good morning to my leader and my hero, Evan Petro Costa. My name remains Amra Mohamed Kamaran. I joined this morning from San Campo.
Welcome.
You know, Buckeye, yesterday I listened to that trash from Western State at the House of the Senate. That the comrades that were on the line, the comrades said it. Our major problem is in our house. Not even the president, as we all know the president. We all know the president is informed by itself. But our major problem is right in our house. What audacity the Western State had to stand before the Senate and tell the Senate that up to 2 million, if I stand to be correct, 2 million Liberians have received the stimulus package. Okay, you live in Liberia. Did anybody share any stimulus package in your community?
Nope.
I live in Liberia. There are not a single. I even talk about at least you must come in the community doing an assessment. The assessment would determine also how many houses in this community and how many persons in each of that in each of that house or houses rather. But nothing. There wasn't none of that. So I listened to what you started talking about nonsense yesterday. I just looked at myself and said, wow. Is this how our country continue to move like this? But we said no. The GOP said no. We will stay alone and start to fight for this country. Okay. We will not sit alone and see our picture get jeopardized within the hands of Weah and his life.
Thank you.
Now, on the issue that has to do with the communication from the brother who was sent as peacekeepers from Mali, the communication that has to do with the raping case, rather. Actually, the Henry Costa said the ministers of defense need to take serious issue on this matter. They need to speed it up, not to delay time. Because Liberia, as soon justice is being delayed,
all right,
it will go down. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Now take DJ Lomel on this line. DJ Lomel, 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you this morning, Baka. Let me say good morning to Henry Petro Costa. Look, Costa, I think there's a need that we say, even though he's sick, I think he can generate money from somewhere else, but not to take that money from President Weah. Because the day Mr. Weah public something against George Weah, President Weah, he wanted to say, oh, that man was dying, I took my money, I gave it to him. He asked me the money like personal money. And these things have to stop. As he just said, man, I like a lecture. And on the stimulus package, look, this guy needs to go to jail, right? We have to be serious. The next government are coming to take the bunch of crooks, bunch of thieves, and put them in jail to teach them sense that other government that will come to power will not do this thing. Like parents are suffering. How will you play on the people like that? You take our money free and just things inside, pay your houses, give it to your girlfriend, rent an apartment for your girlfriends around here. Then you come there and say the stimulus package was done correctly. These people are the big joke. And Boka, I told you I want to see you. We need to talk this thing off, getting very serious. Thank you this morning and have a God bless you.
Thank you so much, DJ Lomer, for calling. More calls. Keep your calls coming in, and we'll put you through the lines 0770-102-102-886-010383 555-102-102. So more calls. As soon as you put your calls in, we will
Samuel Troy is such an idiot. You know his Facebook page, Presca Paul. He posted 30 minutes ago. Is he lazy and useless? The guys, I keep telling you. Samuel Troy just posted on his Facebook page. Breaking. He said I own a bombshell. Just got an intel that Joseph Boaga's name has been placed on a U.S. sanction for requesting bribe from ADA. We inside. You see that? Eh? The guys are sick. They who sanction coming on, they don't want playing for the sanction. Let they charge say, oh, the Google man coming. You the one scared of the Google man. Then you want scared somebody with that you the Google man coming for. Yeah, y'all be playing for all the sanction. Yo.
We'll screenshot that post that we keep it. They put a sanction on him, like they will put it outside.
Yeah. He said 1 hour ago he posted protest and bombshell failed. That means he talking to now. That La sanction listing strategy they on now. When the tire was spewing their trash, they will go sit down. Spineless people. You see that? Hey, my man, let's say so. Yeah, my man, they got it. Look, they got it so dull. They're so stupid that you can tell them say the soya po coming. They will say that lie. No soya man coming until they can't get in. Like how they come looking. Let's take some calls there. And they say sanction not coming. What's he?
Yeah. Good morning.
Soon and very soon, we are going to see the Lord. Oh yeah, soon and very soon.
Yeah, your name is calling from.
My name is Bakari Kapo from Waterfront.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah. You see, Bakari, our own problem in Liberia is like that scholars say, it's the Senate. All our senators they live in Monrovia. They saw what happened on the ground. The number where sister per call is they have supplied the food, and the owner family they part of that particular number. You can explain something to me, something I not ever saw. But I read in Monrovia. In Monrovia, you can call that kind of number. You say you have supply when my own family not have it too.
Yeah, but the message you're in West Point and one side you're going on a stimulus package already.
What? And our own senator were there, our own lawmaker were there. When the mayor was saying it, and really know that we not get it, but you were there. So it's here. How many people get the food in West Point? Out of 10% of the people get food in West Point. How do you know?
We don't want you asking
Yeah, the message you get stimulus package, but I thought they say West Point and Waterside, you're going to be clear.
But they said they on first, bagger.
Yeah.
I don't know what they brother talking, but maybe he was not there at that time. Maybe he went to saloon. They don't know giving the stimulus package. Maybe our brother went to saloon.
You see me have friend.
Yeah, friend. Every day they say, dog man, we have friend. Because dog man, we have the man. How much not just stimulus? The bucket Steve. You know the bucket Steve. There is nothing in the bucket. Look, the man is an insatiable rogue. You know, the man, some rogue and steal and rose. Yeah, at least they won't enough now. But dog we are that boy can steal. The boy can steal that nothing enough for him. He can steal to buy. The man, how much not the stimulus package? It was 2.9 now receive stimulus.
Because somebody said the man don't let nothing like check business. When you carry checks to the man, it can make the man verbal.
The man that petty crook, he didn't let check Bennett. He didn't let document Bennett. The man let the real ma. Rabba. How much nice the money you bring it? After wasn't that I finished helping the man to steal the stimulus money, then he moved wasn't that by saying the EPA. Yeah. Joey, they bought a road. Let's take some more calls there. Useless call it, man. They can't call it, man. Say, we're not satisfied with the number you gave me 2.3 million. What did you do?
Good morning.
What did the stimulus program? You damn.
This is Augustine Fatima calling from the borough of Liguta.
cost the people.
Nugutan, you got a similar package?
My man, you see that some of the things when you gotta go do now, when we cause the Solomon Swan and then they can say we're causing government.
Yes, they were causing that.
From one police station all the way to Cornwall Johnson down to Cornwall Bridge. We never received. Community, which quarter was living in before, never received. This Solomon Swan yesterday, our lawmaker in there, they look at these people in the hot car and read one piece of paper before them and they let them go. See what Malevan did? In the parliament there in South Africa, telling the president that he's a criminal. What going on in our country here? Why they don't come to this city for us there in the place and they just let them all accuse them that in so many things. Why are they doing like this? Why are they acting violent? That damn Western type of man that need to be in jail. They're lying, they're wounded around this country. That Costa, for in the pool. That's why I'm telling you, Costa, that we're promoting these people. And the next government I will place it, they will not prosecute the people. So I will do something with overthrow that. I'm telling you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Maybe
the thing is painful, my dear brother. I feel your pain. Why you think I'm gonna be cussing them? It's painful. They call these guys. Wasn't Tappe looks into their faces and he lies to them. 2.3 million people got stimulus package, and we know the people that goes. We're talking $30 million, boy, guy. Money we borrowed from the IMF that we will have to pay back. And you know what they did to generate the money to pay that money back? They added extra 30 cents on a gallon of gas. Who pays for it? The Liberian people.
Yeah.
They added extra 30 cents for a gallon of gas. The Liberian people pay for it. Huh? And that is how they said they are generating the money to pay for the stimulus thing, to pay the IMF back. And so every time you increase the price of a gallon of gas, it is the people that pay for it. 30 cents. They said that's a way of generating money to pay back. And you steal the money, and the useless lawmakers will take no action. Because John, we all telling them, I mean, y'all lead that thing, y'all don't bother wasn't Tappe. I mean, the thing is too sad, boy, guy. And that is why when we beat John, we will put all of them in jail. And even if the my own pape, Joseph Boakai, you are the president, you put people in jail, you will have me to contend with. I swear to my man, Sarah Burton, I will fight your government with tooth and nail. We have to put these criminals in jail. These boys cannot go free. You steal millions of dollars. Then you get it, you lie that we give 2.3 million people stimulus. Where are the people? Let's go back to the lines there, boy guy. Where are the people?
Let's take this person here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, boy. How are you?
Yeah, your name are you calling from?
I am Moses. I'm calling from Ganta in Makande this morning.
Ganta City. How is Gompa?
Boy, Ganta is all right this morning. Everything is going well. Yeah, right. Ganta is fine.
Go ahead.
I just want to comment Helen last night on the show. You know, people, when people are not equipped in their brain, in their head, they can get a hard time to talk. But thank God, of course, I defeated him on the show, and everything went on well. The show was fine last night.
All right.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Waka, I want to break this news. Look, a few days ago, I came across this video on the NFL Facebook page. And by the way, they have about 17 million, over 17 million people on that page, a Facebook page. That's the National Football League, the NFL, of a young Liberian kid. He is 23 years old, 23, 24. His name is Kwite Pay, a Pele boy, my own Pele brother. Kwite Pay. Pele name, full Pele name. And, but more importantly, a Liberian. But it makes me even prouder that he's Pele. And taking pride in your tribe is not tribalism. is just being proud. Quitepe has an incredible story, Boakai. Yesterday, he got signed by an NFL team called the Indiana Colts. And yeah, the Colts of Indiana and Indianapolis. And Quitepe was born in Guinea. And when he was 6 months old, he and his mother and his other siblings, they moved to the United States and resettled in Rhode Island. His mother, an uneducated woman with 3 boys, she had to work hard, work multiple jobs to support them. At a very young age, Quitepe started showing great promise that he had potential as a football player, American football player. His mother encouraged him. His mother supported his dream. He promised his mother that if she sent him to a certain school, which is very expensive, I think about 10 to 14,000 US dollars a year, that's the tuition. At that school, they've got a great football program. He promised his mother, Mom, if you send me to that school, I will do very well. I will make you proud. I will do well in my lesson, and I will also do well playing football. And the story is inspiring, Boakai. We have to play a little bit of this. And Quitepe and his mother listened, and his mother sent him to the school, Boakai. Yeah. That boy did so well. He made everyone proud. And yesterday he was, and I like the fact that this kid was only 6 months old when they moved to the United States. But yet he loves Liberia so much. Oh, the boy loves Liberia so much. Isaac Vatukba, good morning, my brother. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
My man, Quitepe signed yesterday.
Quitepe is a beast. You know,
man, he is.
Costa, let me tell you something. We are very talented people, whether athletically, whether intellectually, academically, socially, you know, in any way, Liberians have talent.
True.
But we don't get the opportunity to demonstrate that. Look, just basic nutrition. 40% of our people are undernourished. So we don't really grow to our rightful size, our rightful strength, our rightful intellectual nourishment, you know, to be who we really should be. But the ones that do try and get out and they are nurtured in that environment, many of them become talented. For a small country we come from, we have had several professional NFL players. And whether it's in our DNA in terms of our movement, our physicality, our, you know, athletic ability, but we can be very successful in our football area. We can be successful.
You have Tamahali. You have Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara, he one of the, and you know what?
He is the highest. He's the second highest paid running back in the NFL. $50 million a year that boy makes.
And guess what? The ability is in the family. I talked to one of my friends who used to be in the Harvard area or EWA area. So, you know, those American-based, you know, concessions, businesses and stuff, they used to have their different teams and play each other. And this guy was telling me that Alvin Kamara uncle could play nearly every sport, has speed, fast, could hit baseball, could do everything. So some of these things are handed down, but they're just not expressed in that way.
Spoke with his mother.
Even Uboti, one of his sons plays football. Ashton Uboti, he played professional football too. In the NBA draft coming, one of our friends, David Duke, his son, David Duke Jr., will probably be drafted, you know, by the second round latest in the NBA draft.
Wow.
So, yes, for a small country like us to be having people out there that at this level, and there's some people in the pipeline too, you know. So we just need to create that avenue of opportunity that the talented ones can be able to get out. And we are trying to work on some of those things with different people, different organizations to see how more Liberians can have the opportunities.
Man, this is incredible, man. I watched that thing. I nearly cried.
This story is powerful.
And Isaac, his love of country, man. This kid has never been to Liberia.
But where do you think it comes from?
See how he carried the Liberian flag with him last night.
Yes, he was proud.
Proud of Liberia.
Well, you see, equity, that's why, patriotism doesn't have to come from education. His mom is not that educated.
But she instilled it in him.
He did.
Told him about his grandfather who was a chief.
The love of Liberia.
And they named him after his grandfather who was a chief.
Yes. So
oh my God.
His story is a wonderful story. There will be other Liberians who will have similar stories. Like right now, there's a young Liberian in Darby Borough in Pennsylvania who's running for mayor.
Yeah, John. He called me 2 days ago. We're gonna be meeting on Monday.
That'll be wonderful.
And, I want to help. However we can.
Yes,
lots of Liberians there.
I posted something on my page. Yeah. Anyway, if you know people in Derby, encourage them to go and vote for this young man.
Yeah.
He has a very good
smart young man, full of passion.
Yes, very smart.
Yeah. Draw down.
And at 21, he was like a county official, statewide official. And that's impressive to make that kind of achievement, for anybody, let alone somebody from Liberia.
Yeah.
The challenges, whether the language, whether the fact that you're probably behind compared with your peers and everything. So those kind of accomplishments, we have to applaud them, and we got to be happy that these young people are being so successful.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Now, folks, I hear some of you saying, "Oh, the boy was born in Guinea. How is he a Liberian?" Well, he says it himself. He didn't carry the Guinean flag yesterday when he signed. He carried the Liberian flag, and he says Liberia is his home, and he's proud. Even though they were born in a refugee camp in Guinea, but he says, I'm a Liberian, and he is a Liberian.
Well, Costa, that's a good point that person raising, right? So it takes another effort for us to come around and explain this whole concept of dual citizenship, the concept of people being refugee camp, not being recognized as a citizen of that country, because not every country has the laws like Liberia that if you're born there and you're of Negro descent, you can be a citizen. Not every country has that.
That's true.
That differentiation, that's one of the things that we have that can attract our, fellow Black people in the diaspora to, again, boost our tourism sector. So many things are interrelated, and people really need to start to understand them. But that's a good question. But he was. But then, if we follow our law, where sometimes born of Liberian mother, we're not treated equal in our constitution from back in the day. So that's another thing we got to bring that equivalency of women and men to the front. Yes, Liberian men think they're better than women, or they should be more privileged than women. But we need to look at all our laws and all our situations to ensure that women are treated equal in our country.
Thank you very much, folks. That's Isaac Vad Tukpa Jr. He's a regular commentator on this show. Every other week, we're going to bring him on. There are lots of important things that lots of people enjoy having him on, and he's a repository of great ideas and things that can be done and must be done to try to fix the country. Today, we want to focus on, as promised, agriculture. Just speaking about it specifically, mechanized commercial scale agriculture. Isaac, we've been doing subsistence farming as we know it forever in the country. That's how most of our people in the interior, that's how they support themselves.
Yes.
They grow just enough to eat and a little bit they sell to earn money, which they use to procure other things. That hasn't worked. It never works anywhere.
No.
But so what can work? What can change the economic landscape of our country fundamentally in terms of agriculture, and how do we go about it?
Well, I think it's a combination. We got comparative advantages in different areas in our country. As small as our country is, the soil, the climate, there's some differentiation. And then some of the basic things we need. One of the most basic things we need, we have a lot of it, but we haven't been able to harness it, is water. That we can grow food all year round in any area. And so there are technologies out there, and that's part of the whole mechanization thing. When you mechanize, it gives you the ability to use machines or farm equipment, to be able to operate at a different level, a much higher productivity level, whether from growing the food, whether from processing the food, whether to value addition, all of those things, you get efficiency improvement. You'll be able to have large scale production. You're able to improve the quality of what you get out there. So that's why it's important for us to be able to find out and decentralize this thing. Decentralization is an important aspect of all of what we're talking about here. So we have to make sure, as we move forward and look at this agriculture sector, that we understand the value chains that are more aligned with being able to produce food in huge volumes. And it can be both food crops and tree crops. So the marketing aspect of it, because growing food in Liberia, really, it can be a simple thing. It is not that complex, but it's about the market. What markets are we targeting? What is that, difference between the cost of production and what we sell it for that can be returned? Do we target the rice market first and build substitution that we go and do high volume production of rice? But it has to be a nice mixture, because we do have a population that needs employment. We do need to create jobs for our people. So we just cannot go ahead and just do mechanization in a vacuum. It would take us being able to understand where we are coming from, what needs to be produced, what markets are out there. And there are markets out there for different things that can be grown in Liberia. But most of the people who are in the agriculture sector don't have access to capital. They don't have those.
The banks, the commercial banks don't lend for agriculture projects.
Yes, the lending is what, like 1% or 2%. It's very low, the percentage of loans that are in the agricultural portfolio. And that's unfair to some of these people. I get all these inbox messages from young people.
The banks will tell you, Iva, that lending the banks have this thing to say you don't use short-term money for long-term investment, and the banks will tell you that the risk is very high when it comes to agriculture. So since we have this issue of access to capital for agriculture investment, how do we go about it? How do we find source money to support agricultural investment?
It's about programming. There are funding out there with different vehicles and different institutions. And if our government can take that front-up posture where we are really committed to agriculture, these are the areas in agriculture that I want to push. We identify these people who are in these particular value chains and we push them. We work with them. We collaborate with them to get to this. So let's take, for example, the rice sector. For the last 2 years, minimum at least 2.5 to 3 years with this government, rice has been a major issue. We've been pushing the agenda. I have not seen the movement in terms of the investment in the rice sector from a public-private partnership perspective, where government has really put in some money to say, look, we got 2,000 rice farmers here. 60% of them are small farmers. They got like 10, 15 acres. But some of the people got 100 acres of rice, 200 acres of rice. What is this total production that they're able to bring to the market right now? How can we help them increase that production or be able to buy everything or put at least on the market everything that they are producing? Government got prison, government got schools, government has the military and the police, and there's so many different areas where they provide rice for people. So what government can be the primary buyer of the rice produced by Liberians first, at least the first level, make that commitment. There's 100,000 tons of rice or whatever it is that we are consuming here as a government entity. We buy it we use Liberian rice, we market Liberian rice. And Liberian rice is wonderful, whether it's the brown rice or the regular country rice or the parboiled rice that is actually now grown in Liberia. They are all something that can really, be nutritious for our people, especially from an organic level or limited use of, fertilizers and pesticides. So all of that, it takes a programmatic commitment from government to make rice production a possibility. Then we look at pepper. We can mechanize the production of pepper. We can be able to add value to it by processing it and by exporting it. Pepper is needed all over. Cassava. Cassava is one of the most flexible products you can find. That's another area. I mean, do you see some of the pictures? I mean, just in this small farm, we have the pictures of the cassava that come out of there.
Man, it grows like that. Oh, it grows like that.
And you can grow both the industrial variety and the consumption variety. So it's about planning, it's about a commitment to that sector and about doing it. You know, I believe some of the stuff that, you know, has been uttered or proffered by Janine are valid, but it needs to be implemented. People need to see it working.
Isaac, they don't have the resources. Isaac, let me say this, right? This is my thing. We borrow money all the time. Just recently, this government signed a financing deal for somewhat $40 million or so. Yeah. This government has borrowed at least about $750 million since they came to power, just in that neighborhood. Isaac, they borrow money and they do only one thing: they build community roads, essentially. The economic and social rates of return on these roads are minimal.
Well, that's why
compared to what it would be if they invested some of this money in agriculture.
What is the impact of those roads? What's the economic assessment that's done? What is the potential industry or sectors that
they don't do any kind of assessment, economic impact assessment.
Yeah,
they don't do that. They just build the roads. But Isaac, we're not bashing roads here. Roads are important, right?
Roads are important. No, we're not. But let's say it has to be strategic.
Yeah, but Isaac, if they were borrowing, take for example, right? This government has borrowed at least, safe to say, about $500 million. Isaac, do you think if 50% of that $500 million that this government has borrowed, at least, do you think if 50% of that's about $250 million, had that money gone into resuscitating the old agriculture bank and lending to mechanized agricultural initiatives, growing food first for domestic consumption, and then enough to export, do you think by now this government will not, the economic landscape will not be looking different?
It should be totally different. $250 million infused in the agriculture sector can make a major difference.
But why don't they do that, Isaac?
Again, it's about the commitment to that particular policy. Two, it's about using the money for the purpose intended. Because even less than that, $100 million can change the landscape of agriculture. Because in every county, you can have an agriculture operation going that will hire about 2,000 to 3,000 people easily.
That's a lot of jobs.
That's a lot of jobs. That's 30,000 jobs easily across the country.
But
so, and you don't have to build every road totally. Make the road at the minimum
drivable.
People can bring their products to market. They can bring their inputs into the agricultural process back to the farms to be able to do their work. That's the key. Take a road like River says. There are probably like 10 spots on the road to River says that are really handicap the movement of traffic during the rainy season. Fix those spots. Fix those spots.
Isaac, I'll tell you something. Speaking of bad spots on the various parts of the roads, of various corridors, I have this idea, right? The road from Saniquelli all the way to Grangide, very bad, extremely bad. Mm-hmm. If you were to procure a number of road equipment, road construction equipment, motor graders, bulldozers, front end loaders, and you deploy them across the various parts, the various bad roads, and those equipment are just deployed there, you have manpower to just service those roads all year round.
Simple.
You don't have road trouble, Isaac.
You have continuous movement, and that's part of the investment.
Why can't we do that? This is something that comes to me all the time. Isaac, right now, you don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to pave the roads. You can't. But you can borrow $20 million, $30 million, and you can buy tons of Kumasi yellow machines You can buy Caterpillar machines, and you can deploy them and pay people to maintain those roads all year round and keep the roads passable. But Isaac, the low-hanging fruits are just right there staring us in the face.
In the face.
And we're looking at them and we're not picking them. Look at agriculture. You know,
it's there. Even just feeding ourselves. Look. I mean, you know, this guy was making a case again. Simple thing like pepper. Why we couldn't close the borders during Ebola?
We said because we would have lost our pepper supply.
So, you know, so those things are national security issues too. So are our national security people really looking at the impact of agriculture on our country whenever something adverse happens? We don't know. They should be making a recommendation instead of creating, you know, some false scenarios just to get money to run operations that don't yield any benefit for our people. So mechanization is a very conscious effort. It's not distracted. And studies have been done, Costa, by different groups, especially our US partners, you know, in terms of what areas can we target. The recommendations are there. So it's not about, you know, doing studies per se. It's about doing. It's about actually acting in that direction.
There's enough data. There's enough information.
Yes, there is. So, you know, it's just, okay, if you really say you must eat little money and do the thing, just get somebody who can compile those things, give us the best recommendations, do at least one demonstration. We'll commit 10 million, 15 million, 20 million to this particular project for this particular food in the value chain, and we'll extend it up to this processing point for the market, both domestic, both international. And let's see what happens. It can start to turn things around. But I see no serious commitment on any one production level. Nothing coming from government that clearly stipulates we start here, here's the end point, here's what we expect, these are the amount of jobs we create, and then come back 6 months later and say, oh, here where we are. We don't get that.
I see the new Minister of Agriculture, and by no means do I intend to throw shades at her. I think she's a smart woman. I think she has passion. She wants to do good. But I just am not impressed by what they're doing there. I mean, the other day they imported these little machines, the little tractors. They're going to hand out to people, small-scale farmers, and they give the little cash amounts, cash transfers, 1,000 or 2,000. That's a flash in the pan initiative, Isaac. It's not going to make any difference. What do you think about that?
I think a little differently, right? So if there is a concerted effort to understand, let's say there were 2,000 farmers in our process. What is the productivity of those farmers today? Okay. What is the land they have available to them to farm? What specifically are they planting? And what is that expected production after you give them those tractors? Because the hand tractors are good. One of the key things we need is tractors that have the ability to deroot. That means many of the trees, when people clear the land, you see the stumps that are there and stuff. And
that is a problem. Yeah.
It's a major problem. So I hope those tractors giving them are able to deroot all the roots that are there to really till the soil for the full field. If they say 20 acres, is actual 20 acres that's being planted. So if those kind of analysis are done, where we fully understand what we are putting in there and what we expect to get out, then decentralization of supporting the small farmers, because at the end of the day, we want to support the small farmers. So if they have that kind of directive for those people, you are planting potato, you are planting collard green, you planting cassava, you planting rice, and we look at our volume, because I don't even think we know our volume of consumption in Liberia, the food consumption or the breakdown of the food consumption. But if we're to know that and we're able to support the local market, the small farmers at the base, they are really the solid foundation for farming. So I support the effort for small farmers, but the strategy that's being implemented around it, the targeting, the expected result is not a cohesive plan around it. So we need that to happen, and we need communication from the Ministry of Agriculture, not just the flash and the highlight of the program. But at the end of the day, who small farmer number one, small farmer number two, can't stay and tell, oh, what you don't do. Can't stay and tell how your life has
where you were a year ago and where you are now after you received this support from the Ministry of Agriculture. Exactly.
Yes. Level. These real life stories can be incentive to other people, because we have so many youths who are not employed, who are not employable. but they have the ability to learn practical things. And you use some of this effort to create demonstration farms that can train these young people in the use of these tractors, in new methodologies for farming, in the marketing of these crops, and in actual, endpoint sales. So again, it takes a whole effort. The market women, how do you get them committed to the Liberian producer rather than to the truck that coming from Guinea, the truck that coming from Ivory Coast? So all of these are factors. If you start from Ivory Coast, the bordering points, and make sure that agriculture is vibrant, that the stuff that we're importing from those people, we don't need to import them, and the stuff we're growing there is enough for the local population and to bring downstream to Monrovia, that's a major thing that we can do.
Isaac, I'm just going to come in here a little. Speaking of Ivory Coast, this is the world's largest producer of cocoa, 40%. That's worth billions and billions of dollars. They have a national cocoa board that regulates the cocoa industry, sets the price and stuff like that.
They do.
It's not perfect, but it does try. In our country, we let Firestone, for example, set the price of rubber in the country. It's okay. Ellen Johnson said, give them that. They set the price of rubber. They buy the rubber. They set the price.
Well, that Ellie alone now, governments before were doing it too, but we expected her to start to change it, but it never happened.
Yeah, but she didn't change it. So we have a situation, Isaac, where most of the rubber that's produced in Liberia is exported unprocessed.
Yes.
Rubber price in recent years has plummeted very badly. Rubber farmers is not even incentivizing growing rubber anymore.
No,
I know smallholder rubber farmers. Yeah, I know smallholder rubber farmers who have literally abandoned their small farms because it's become commercially not viable, having to work that farm, tap that rubber, when what you actually make from it is nothing. So, Isaac, I spoke with one guy one day. He's a banker, and I will not tell you on this show who he is, but he said something to me. He said, Costa, one of the problems we have in the rubber sector is this. And he showed me data. He said, which country is it? Burma? One of those countries. He said, look, these guys produce just about the same amount of rubber Liberia produces a year. Same volume. But they make about 2.5 times more in revenue from their rubber than we make. What's the difference? Yeah, they do value addition. They process that rubber. Liberia does not process hers. We export that rubber unprocessed. So we don't fetch as much as we possibly could because we're not adding any value to it, Isaac.
Of course, I just make it simple. Dry fish, Guni. It probably like what? And $100 $100 or $50 $100.
I would know. But I know you don't go to
But if you just package that thing neatly, you put it in the plastic bag with nice label on it, you get 4-5 times the price of that.
Plantain chips, I say, don't go too far. There are some women, mostly women, right, who've been doing their own. They've been packaging the chips.
I know a woman right in that Effie area there. For 15 years, she's been selling plantain chips. She told me she took all her children to school for nothing.
Can you imagine? Now, some of them are packaging the plantain chips and the Edo chips. Oh, I love the Edo chips. They package the Edo chips and they're selling them in the supermarket and they're selling them for more. That little pack of plantain chips, just about, it's going for like $150, Liberian dollars.
And plantain is one of my favorite things. I eat those plantain chips. I can't lie to you. I love plantain.
Very good. Very, very.
So value addition is critical. What did Ivory Coast and Ghana do? Ivory Coast and Ghana produce, I think, about 60%
of the world cocoa supply
that goes into chocolate. And that industry is billions of dollars. And they just finally got themselves together, the two countries, and made demands that will have value addition in the country.
In fact, speaking of Ghana, Isaac, they announced about a year or two ago that they're constructing a $100 million chocolate factory. Now, maybe not the entire finish, not the complete finished product.
No, just
they would to some level and then export abroad.
Yes,
but $100 million plant. And they said, if you don't build it here, we're not going to sell our cocoa to you.
That's it. And these companies will do that. They will help you if you make the demands and they know they don't have alternatives.
The raw material.
Yes. And what is so different from our, we can probably have a different variety of coffee, but you know that people from Ivory Coast now come to Liberia for people to plant in Liberia and they take that stuff to Ivory Coast.
Yeah, because I say our cocoa and coffee, we have higher yields than they have.
And look, man, it's really
what is our problem, man? What is our problem?
The lack of collaboration, the lack of putting trained people into those positions to make some of these decisions. The technical side of the agricultural sector is one thing. We really need more capacity in those areas. And it doesn't take anything. There are Liberians out there with the, I like to push my man, Dr. William here, but he has that ability. He needs to be a part of this national discussion or the high-level discussion.
They don't want people like that, man. They want politicians, people who are suck up and ass case. That's what
politicians won't do it for our country. We need. That's why sometimes people say they don't recognize education, but that profound Liberian statement: when you don't know, you don't know. It's plain and simple. When you know something, you know it, and we need.
There's no way around it.
There's no way around it. We need people who know in these positions that they can make a difference, especially from a policy standpoint and from their ability to implement what they are saying. Many people can talk.
Our man Lawrence Kennedy just posted something on the live feed. He says Liberia could take advantage of AGOA and export agricultural products to the U.S. Now, folks, for those of you who don't know what AGOA is the African Growth and Opportunity Act.
Yep.
We signed up to AGOA several years ago under Ellen, and the AGOA provides an opportunity for us to export agricultural products to the United States without paying any customs, anything else.
Duty, yes.
No duty. And we're not taking advantage of that, Isaac.
No, we are not. But that's where, again, I keep saying government has to be a partner in this thing and try to facilitate the process. We know there's a market for, let's say, palm oil here. Even the Ghanaians, right? They are making Liberia fresh. That's not a Liberian product. But they know we let palm oil. We buy that palm oil, we eat it. So they are making stuff like that. They are making a lot of
these. And it doesn't taste as good.
No, and our palm oil correct. So and that's another thing.
Can you imagine we in America, we're eating Ghanaian flour, fufu, they're planting flour for fufu when we could have our own good quality. What is it with us, Isaac?
My man, we need that whole food testing thing to get it done, to be able to certify food, the food certification process. We need a serious lab that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration here, approves of, that anything coming from Liberia can just get on the shelves right away. The opportunity is there. We just need a commitment from a partner, and that partner is government. And to be able to get access to capital is important. You got to see, and and that's why it's frustrating sometimes. Some of the people who get the opportunity, like the guy who got all those machines from Libya or somewhere that just been sitting down. What he need?
Wendell McIntosh.
Yes, I have reached out to him.
They sitting there. Millions of dollars.
I come and do something, So if you would just prefer to let equipment be idle and get rusted and not be put into the production stream, you're affecting your country. And those kind of people, government has inquired. Why is that?
And to make full disclosure, Wendell McIntosh is a friend of mine. In fact, yesterday I chatted with him. He has millions, tens of millions of dollars worth of equipment sitting there. Some of them are there in FOIA, they are rusting away, and then he's got some that are still in the plastic sealed in the containers, parked in his yard. Now, Wendell McIntosh, as I speak to you, is working on a number of deals to try to get a financing partner to come in, and this time they will take over and run this operation. And Isaac, look, the government, for example, could be a partner. The man has the machines. Come in, say, look, Wendell, take a back seat. We will bring the experts to run this project, right? We will bring capital country, we'll make a capital contribution to get the farm working, to hire the expats that will come and operate these machines and get this thing working, and we can use it as a pilot project. If and when it succeeds, we can replicate this in other parts of the country. This guy, let me tell you something, and that will be saying a little more, right? And because I know this guy, the partners he's currently working with, the Americans, they got a firm from South Africa to come and do a soil profile analysis, Isaac. They collected soil specimen from Nimba and from other parts of the country. And they took the soil specimen to South Africa, to their lab. And I know this because we're friends. I talked to him. And they did the soil analysis, Isaac. Guess what? They said on 1 acre of land, I can say exactly what. My friend Wendell, if you're listening, tell me exactly what it says. I had the thing. On 1 acre of land, 1 hectare, which is four acres will make 1 hectare. 2.2 acres make, yeah, exactly. And on 1 hectare of land, you can produce, I don't know how many tons of rice. Can you imagine? In a year. High yield. The guy said, they were like, what? This is incredible. In Nimba. And let me see what my man Macintosh can send that information. So Macintosh is working. He's trying to find a financing partner. To his credit, he's tried hard. Let me tell you.
So then my question comes again. What was the plan in the very beginning? And what
I'm going to tell you why the project failed. Now, a lot of people don't know, but I know.
And it's good for people to know.
Yeah, but I know, and I've talked about it in the past, and I'll say it again. Macintosh has equipment worth millions of dollars. Let me tell you something, Isaac. People have actually approached this guy to sell these equipment to them. He refused. Ghanaians, foreigners have come and said, sell equipment. He said no. And the reason the project failed, do you know they actually cultivated several hectares of land in Foya, cultivated it with rice. But the problem was, before the situation in Libya, you know, the funds came from the Libyan and African investment portfolio.
Right.
The funds did not come all in one trench. They came in trenches. So when they had the first tranche of the funds, they procured the equipment, the plowers, all the other equipment. What they didn't have, Isaac, they didn't have the rice mill. Isaac, the rice mill was not there then. So like you cultivate the rice, you can harvest the rice and all. The harvester, everything was there, but the mill to process that rice, they didn't have the rice mill. So now, Isaac, they harvested the rice, no machine to mill the rice. You know what they ended up doing, Isaac? They ended up underselling that rice to the government of Liberia, which then bought it and sold the seed rice to all farmers. Isaac, at that point, the government could have come in, they could have said, look, you've cultivated several, I think it was about 200-300 hectares. I'm going to call my guy, right? He's going to give us some information. Isaac, look, Isaac, the thing is painful.
It is very painful. Just
the government could have said to the guy. So Isaac, the reason the project failed is not because Macintosh squandered the money. No, I will send you pictures in the man's yard with containers, 10 massive 40-foot containers sitting in his yard, sealed. Eventually, Isaac, guess what? The rice mill came. That boy got the mill parking in his yard. People now offer that boy money. Sell these equipment. Macintosh said no. Isaac, now he got the rice mill. Guess what? No money. Isaac, no money to go and cultivate again, and no money. The problem is, Isaac, no money.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Maybe he needs some partnership because I believe he
But
has
that's why
all those
partnerships.
Okay, I mean, I really hope it works out because it can transform agriculture in Liberia.
My man, I'm going to call my man and put it on the phone.
If you put it on, that would be wonderful. You know, I've communicated with him on the back end on LinkedIn, I believe, and
my man, Marcus is like a brother. He's a good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. You know, let's see what I can get him on here to just look. He's got millions and millions of dollars worth of equipment just sitting there, and he's working hard, seeking out partnerships. You know, so you know, Isaac. Look, like I tell you, the soil analysis that was done is incredible. The yield. I mean, the South African guys that did the soil analysis, they said we hardly see this kind of great soil, this potential. How much could be? Yeah. My man wanted about how many tons of rice can come from 1 hectare over a year. I'm like, what? I said, we are incredibly a rich country.
Yes.
So market just got millions of dollars over equipment. So now the rice mill finally came. Those are the ones packed in the containers in his yard. They are in the plastic. I will have the guy send me pictures. I will send you the rice mill in the plastic, about 10 containers. 44 containers, Isaac. So this guy has gone to people going to government. Look, just come. Look at the machines here. Bring the money. And he said, look, I don't want to be part of. I don't want to run the thing. I want to sit on the board. I just want to sit on the board of the company. But
Really?
I said, nobody will bring the money. I said, let me tell you something. McIntosh went and signed a deal in 2015. I was in jail that day. I remember. I'll never forget. They took me outside to go in the superintendent's office, the head of the prison. And I was sitting there when I checked my phone. He sent me the picture when he signed a deal with ECOWAS, the ECOWAS food bank. They were willing to put in millions of dollars as his part. They sent a whole team to Liberia, went to 4 years, saw the machine, saw everything parked in his yard. ECOWAS signed a deal. Guess what, Isaac? Then Minister of Agriculture, Florence Chenoweth. I said, listen to that story, my brother.
I'm listening.
I mean, I got the pictures of my man McIntosh. I got the deal with McIntosh signed with ECOWAS. ECOWAS wanted to use that project as a pilot project. If it works, your thing will supply food to the ECOWAS food bank. That's all ECOWAS wanted. My man, the ECOWAS folks went and met with the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Florence Chenoweth. Do you know what that lady told those people about McIntosh? She bad-mouthed that man. I never see this before. Echo was dealing with a private man, and that man ain't got no good reputation. Isaac, that woman, the government killed the deal. McIntosh, Echo was said, look, McIntosh, you know what they did? They signed a deal with a group from Iowa, a group of farmers. The Iowan farmers went to Liberia. They looked at the machines because the machines are John Deere equipment. They look at the equipment. They were bringing the engineers to service those machines. They did a whole analysis, how much it would cost to service those machines, Isaac. They supplied to the ECOWAS people. Then they were going to bring the guys from Iowa who were going to operate the machines, do everything. McIntosh was only going to be a board member. My man, our government told him, look, Isaac, when you see me cussing the people, sometimes people don't understand. Look, for Liberia to do well, Isaac, you need a president that will fire a minister for doing what Florence Chenoweth did to that project. She killed a project that would have put us way ahead. Since ECOWAS left, Isaac,
Zero.
They never called back.
Zero. It's really sad. We got I really hope, people like McIntosh, them, if they are honestly trying to do this thing, they can be successful. Because
how
many years those machines been sitting down?
For many years, Isaac.
But constantly the machines now, part of the machines have been taken away.
But I mean, but what do you expect? The machines are parked there in 4 years.
The bush.
Yeah, they're in the bush.
People will take parts out. But at least you got some of them stay in containers. So,
park in his yard.
Those redeemable ones, I hope somebody now come on the other side of that container and open it and take his stuff and he knows.
No, they're in his yard, they're safe. Those ones are in his yard where he lives. But this goes to show why we have never done what needs to be done.
And I don't know whether Lawrence Kennedy listening, but Lawrence Kennedy is doing some work on why projects fail. And that's something I want to do as well. We got so many projects. From this agriculture thing, we had the feed project, we got the fed project, we have the what do you call this stuff name? The Power Africa, which is integrated with agriculture. We have that project. Why we don't see the impact of those projects in Liberia? We can't continue this slash and burn. People come and buy collars and hoe for our small farmers, and we think it's something. It's not going to work.
Not our solution.
That methodology is not going to work. We need to advance this sector from how we plant food, the technology we use, how we control the growth of weeds, how we utilize, pesticides, fertilizers, the specific item we're growing, what variety of a food we're growing, and what that market is. It got to be a whole value chain kind of evaluation. At what point of the value chain do we start for export? What do we do for local consumption? All of those things are critical. But yes, to come back to the main topic of mechanization, it can really revolutionize our agricultural sector if we use it.
And our whole economy.
We actually in agriculture, nearly 70% of our people are involved in that sector. Even though
we are agrarian, yeah.
Yes, we are agrarian. So it can really, really make a difference for our people, who are out there jobless. We can create jobs. One little chocolate factory in Liberia, if we try to explore that value chain. I mean, I got a friend who has consummated a deal in Nigeria to produce chocolate there. He is willing to come to Liberia too, but the pieces, the steps that can come to it, that support that McIntosh is looking for to close the deal is where most people are looking for, that access to capital. There has to be some way that we can get a bank that focuses on agricultural opportunities, and they have that commitment. Let's say it's somebody who they give that money to cannot manage the project, cannot produce at the level expected, to be able to take that land away and give it to somebody who can. And until we can get those things in place where our law hold, where contracts, the banks are protected in terms of their investment as well, we'll not be able to get anywhere. So this is a whole ecosystem of development of economics that needs to be analyzed the right way, and people follow it, that each player,
Isaac, for any of those things to happen, you need one man,
the president,
who's in a mansion to make those things happen, Isaac. It's not a minister. Isaac, these things are not accomplished by ministers. And sadly, Isaac, I'm going to be candid with you. Yes, I support the CPP, but this kind of conversation that you and I are having, I don't hear anybody having these conversations in our political circles. I'm being candid.
No, and I've told some of these political leaders to do that, both opposition and imposition.
No,
you need to do that. You need to come and say exactly what they are doing or what they.
I said they only tell you, oh, we'll face the country, we'll do agriculture. They don't tell you how.
And that's the biggest piece, the how piece. The how piece.
Anybody can say.
And I've told them, just do a simple demonstration. Do one demonstration project that reflects what you can scale up to if you're given the opportunity. $200,000, $300,000 can get a good agricultural demonstration project. And people don't want to invest in some of those things,
We're in trouble, Isaac.
And in our government today, in the US, the demonstration farm that one of my friends runs, the McGill, Mampigin Koji, Ekaros, all of them came to that farm. They saw the operation. They saw the potential.
They would never do it, Isaac. You know why? Because the guy who sits at the very top is the one who has to push the people to do it. He has to have the vision first.
And they will. If you don't do this stuff, you order the door. That performance management plan, and I talked about it so much.
Give them
absent.
Give them quotas. Give them timelines. Give them deliverables.
Simple. It's simple. And some people will make it
provide them the resources.
Now all it comes down to. And there's just so many wasted opportunities, man.
Isaac, man.
It's painful. It's painful to see so much potential, so much capability, so much opportunities just wasted. And sometimes it's because of the greed that exists at that level, that for any transaction to happen, that
money has to change hands.
Money has to change hands. And nobody who is a serious investor, who has not even seen what the path of financial return for the stakeholders is, would turn over 100,000, 200,000, 800,000 to you before they even start the business. That makes no sense.
No, that man has to have a short-term sinister motive. He has to know that I'm going to flip this thing quickly and get something back if he's going to pay you that kind of money.
Like some companies have done with, like even in the oil sector before with Broadway and some of those other people that were just getting those deals. those things will not work. They're not sustainable. And our people in government, in positions that are the ones that can close these contracts, they got to sacrifice in terms of suppressing their greed for the betterment of this country. That some of these investment opportunities,
Isaac, it will not happen unless the guy at the very top thinks that way. You know this, Isaac. You follow developments in other countries, development politics. It only happens when the head of the government embodies that will and that vision.
And we haven't had it.
No,
and the people on the launching pad, they themselves, some of them saying it, Cummings has 1 or 2 big vision, $1 billion budget in 3 to 4 years or 3 years. All those things are achievable. But let's get down into the weeds. Let's do the numbers. Let's point directly. Today, we're getting $500,000 from real estate taxes. This is the way we utilize GPS, we utilize technology, we document every house and all those houses constructed in a certain way. There are 400,000 of them. They will pay $10. That $4 million will be getting every month out of this. For the $8 million will be added to our revenue. Bam, we leave that. We'll go to the next phase. We'll formalize this particular sector, this sector, this sector. This is the expected taxation we'll get from it to increase the budget. We'll go with that. We'll expand the tourism sector with the visas. We'll increase to XYZ. People spending that will get taxation on in the form
Isaac,
of
trust me, they don't have that kind of broad, well laid out, well thought out, well fully fleshed agenda to make that sort of thing happen, as you are explaining. No, they just tell you that. They just throw numbers out there. Now, and I agree with you. When Mr. Cummings says we can hit $1 billion in a few years, I could not agree more. It is possible. It's doable. But tell me how, Chief. Give me specifics.
And it would take work. It would take sector by sector.
And put a team together that's gonna do a swab analysis.
So let me ask you, this CPP people, who are the
main trust?
Each sector?
No, none. Right now, I tell you the truth. CPP is there working to try to take power. They ask them, what's their agenda? What is, look, this is why when I say, and this is me speaking as a patriot, not a member of CPP. This is me speaking.
Even if you're a member, you see, that's the thing, though. Even if you are a member,
Isaac,
I'm a politician.
CPP, what is your agenda? What's your platform? They have nothing.
And they've been 1.5 to 2 years together, right?
They've been together for over 2 years.
Okay, so seriously, they don't have a website.
They don't have a website.
You don't know what CPP stands for.
No.
They don't have a communication plan out there.
No.
And I don't want to put Mo Ali on blast, but with the Mo Ali situation, there was no instant response from the organizer. Usually, the rapid response is effective, whether it's negative to you,
Isaac,
whether it's positive for you.
COP has a website. We collect dues through our website. We're doing water kiosk project. CPP doesn't have a website. They don't collect dues. We generate at least $2,000 every month. Our bank balance, we've got more money in our bank balance than CPP. We got a website where you can go and log on and become a member of COP. Pay your dues using Stripe or PayPal. Get your ID card from our website. CPP does not have it. Our manifesto is on our website. CPP doesn't have one.
Yes, some of the four parties in the CPP. Sorry, we're going to politics, but at the end of the day, politics everything.
Because everything hinges and revolves around the people who want to come to power.
Yes, especially
they have to show us that they are ready and they're prepared.
Yes, especially the imperial presidency we have, where the president can basically sabotage, manage, usurp, do anything he wants to do or she wants to do.
CPP should now have a think tank together. The likes of Lawrence Kennedy, Isaac Va Tukpa, Dr. William Hare, and all these people, they should have a think tank working, crafting their agenda, looking at the problems of the country, which we all know because they're HO, and then developing potential solutions to the problems and formulating an agenda. Ask CPP, where is your damn platform? None.
None.
Right now, the primary objective, let moon we are. lemon we are, lemon we are.
So
then,
we
then
really,
get power now, then they start running haphazard.
That's what happened to Madame Salif. 40 years of struggle to get to power with no clear vision and agenda, but what you do once you get the country in your hand. And I believe as much as we in the CDC had an agenda, I don't think George Weah had an agenda himself.
No, he didn't have.
You gotta have that vision and agenda to do these things. It's not rocket science, but it takes a certain level of commitment. It takes a certain level of will. And
I know that they got mad on me this morning for saying this, but this is the truth. And it is embarrassing because I don't just want people who just want to take power, Isaac. We're tired with this nonsense.
Yeah.
This is one bunch of unprepared people with another bunch of unprepared people with no vision.
And some of them were there before and they didn't do anything. You see, that's the problem. You know, that is a big problem. And
Isaac, you know, we gotta speak the truth to our own people.
No, well, question. That's why a lot of
give us credibility. We can't have our own people that we support, and then we can't say the truth to them. And then what moral authority do we have to question the people in power now?
Because this trend may force the development of a new political party or alignment that will again give the incumbent an opportunity to win without 35% that's solid in his corner. So the CPPU, the other opposition, really need to get the act together if they want a change.
We need to see their agenda. I don't just want John Brown telling me, look, my man, this is a collaboration of 4 parties. These 4 parties must have a joint agenda, a cohesive agenda. And say, this is the way, this is our vision for the country. This is the direction we want to take the country in when we come to power.
And what? Yomdi is the head now, right? Why she can't work on something like that? Why she can't work on something? We are about to make a critical decision in the next 8 or 10 months. And they're trying to do something by this year, I believe, to be able to say, oh, this is the person we are behind. Why they can start to build that consensus from a agenda standpoint and at least say we do X, Y, Z to show the Liberian people this is what we plan to do. Because to a large extent, and I say all the time, this government has failed. Yes, you don't want to stay with the failure. But you who the new student who come in, show us what you can do. Show us to some extent, this is what I can do. This is a simple demonstration of what we have done that show that what we're saying we want to do works. And
well, Isaac, we're wasting our time. Don't expect any blueprint. And you know, I will tell them this. Lee Kuan Yew, founding father of Singapore, modern Singapore.
I mean, people need to go read that Singapore story.
They need to go read it. From rice paddy to one of the most prosperous countries on the face of the earth. They need to go read it. The Paul Kagame story, absent the dictatorial tendencies. They need to go read it. The Botswana story. You understand? I don't know whether you had the time to watch that movie I told you about the last time about.
No, because I'll be honest with you, but the next time I come on, I will have watched it by then.
Yes, please do.
It's the United Kingdom, right?
Hey, United Kingdom, right. Exactly. The story of Botswana. Yeah. You know, they laid a foundation that they've never deviated from. Today.
That's something I have pushed. Why don't we have a national development plan that is ratified, legislated, that can be continuous? Not any John Peter come. They bring the agenda for transformation, agenda for prosperity, pro-poor agenda. No, let it be some continuous thing that the legislature.
That's mandatory. Government after government.
Yes. They come, they visit that, they re-up, they look at what failed, what didn't fail, and be able to move that thing forward again. Until we can do some of those things, you know, we really, really are wasting our time. But again, as committed Liberians who really want change in this country, we got to keep pushing, we got to keep trying, we got to keep talking, and let people know it's not personal. It's about our country. We want a better country. And you made a point. That's a point that I want to just touch on a little bit. I've told people that even if my brother was working in government, our president, his team, I would jail him. I would go visit him to the jail because I love him like my brother. But when
the law is the law.
The law is the law. We got to implement the law. And some of the things I had, you know, some respect for Toba for. His own cousin who committed murder. He was able to hang him. He was able to sign out death warrant. And until we get leaders like that, who will be able to do the hard things, the difficult things, that people will come every night, your whole family will come to your door and come cry. No. I was clear before when we said when we come here, we'll do X, Y, Z. The man deviated. he got to bear the consequences. Until we can get that kind of leadership, it will be difficult for us to move forward.
Yeah, I say that. The problem we got, every time we talk about, people ask me all the time, what is Liberia's greatest problem? It's not corruption. It is not small-mindedness. It is not greed. Our greatest problem is this deeply entrenched culture of impunity.
No
because it is impunity that gives rise to everything.
Everything else.
The reason that minister does a bad deal and steals is because he knows he's going to go free.
But Costa, you look at it, the Liberians who are in different countries and try funny things, what happens most of the time? They go to jail. They get arrested, they put on trial, they in Paris, and they go to jail.
But I say, there was a Liberian guy, right? I don't know what he heard that story. This guy, and because today is Friday, this is an extended edition of the show. Because there was a Liberian guy who was treasurer of the city of Philadelphia. Did you read that story?
No.
Do you not know? I'm going to send you the link. A Liberian guy was the treasurer of the city of Philadelphia, one of the major cities in this country. That guy was involved in corruption. They put him in jail and visa fraud as well. Treasurer of the city of Philadelphia.
Really?
My man, I'm saying the thing right now. I'm pulling up.
That's somebody we should be tooting their horns and be proud of to get to that level. I mean, it's sad. No,
we have a long way to go.
We got law and order. Yes, this country may not be perfect, but at the end of the day, the hands
when you get caught, you're going down. This is the guy, my man. This story was reported September 26, 2020. I'm telling you the story now.
Wow.
The treasurer of the city of Philadelphia has been charged by the U.S. Attorney's Office with several federal offenses. Christian Dumba, 40, is charged with bank embezzlement and immigration fraud.
Wow.
My man, treasurer, Isaac, I'm saying it to you right now. The city of Philadelphia, my man, they became treasurer. 40-year-old guy, Isaac, and he already been on the job for several years. I mean, he was there before he struck 40. They put him in jail. I just sent you the link. My man, Isaac, let me tell you something. Our problem is, I always say this to people. We don't even want people with experience because you know what happened?
Do you know what the budget is of the city of Philadelphia?
Oh, man,
and that was probably like last year.
It's got to be in the billions, right?
4.5 billion.
Okay, so this guy manages or a treasurer for a city whose budget is 2 times the GDP of his country of birth. 2 times.
Why do you mess up like that? Jesus Christ, man. I don't know.
2 times the GDP of his country of birth. And then he commits fraud and immigration fraud. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I think his guy must be in jail by now.
Because nobody perfect. Once you do something wrong, the people start checking you. They check everything else around you. And one little text, one little email can reveal so many different things to those people because they have the expertise and knowledge to investigate. And
Isaac, I pray for a Liberia, right? Yeah, people don't know. I pray for a Liberia where fanatical partisans would no longer have to be defending and praise-singing their own thieves. Because they're thieves.
When I don't want to thief, they all right.
Yeah, that's no, that what we do. That what we do. You know, that my own role. I pray for a Liberia where tribalism, you know what I believe, Isaac, tribalism can be destroyed, can be significantly reduced in our country. Where when you are a crime man and you're president and crime man does bad, you punish him according to the law.
Yeah.
The day the guilt man does wrong, and you go for the guilt man, the guilt will not make noise.
They can't make noise.
That's true. The man did it to a crime man. Our people have a parable. Isaac, we say, is it Opaso? Are you smelling your friend hair on the fire burning? Because the next head could be
your head. No, but seriously, look, nobody perfect. And that's why I expected some of this whole strategy in terms of, employing people or giving partisan jobs. Put some partisan in place. That's what I expected to see the government do. Because coming from zero to nothing, the greed will be there. They want to get things quickly. And unfortunately,
temptation is there, Isaac.
Unfortunately, the whole stratosphere of leadership will focus in that direction instead of catching those people who rushing for money quick and auditing them and putting them in jail and then putting qualified people into positions to man some of those positions. They haven't done it. So that's why, look, right now it just hurts me. I was there for 7 months straight. Other people go and come, and all they're saying is everything is deteriorating. Everything is going wrong.
Every day, my man, the country is crumbling, Isaac. By the time we take it over, my man, the country needs a rescue plan. Right now, the CPP is supposed to do a complete SWOT analysis of the current infrastructure, governance infrastructure, a holistic view, the economy, the healthcare, this and that, and be able to tailor or develop a rescue strategy. Because by the time we take this country over from the guys in 3 years, Isaac, it will be in a much more precarious situation than it currently is.
No question. No question. They need such a drastic turnaround. I don't even think most people's minds can work that way. Normal human beings, forget about just Liberians, but normal human beings' mind. The kind of drastic turnaround we need in governance and leadership and being able to hold people accountable. I don't know if it's doable. I don't know if it's doable with this government. It got to be some kind of different infusion. And I've always talked this about chemistry. The makeup has to be in a way that it works. It got to be different people with different capabilities and who can hold each other accountable as a mixture to be able to come to power and do something. And if the CPP cannot develop that culture, whoever becomes president again will be there and their friends running things.
But man, Isaac, that's how it always ends up, sadly.
And most of your friends don't have that capability. You don't hold them accountable. You take it for joke. Very few people like the Tobas and a few other leaders, the Kagamis, as much as I detest, the
Victoria tendencies.
Yes, the
making his opponent disappear at all.
In his benevolent dictator, but I believe in a strong-willed leader or lead. Look, we got enough laws on our book. If we just apply the rule of law in Liberia, it can change people.
The only way that can happen is when you, Isaac Vatukpa, the president of the country, you are dispossessed of a chronic desire to get rich quick. You are not concerned about the trappings of the office, but rather the power, tremendous powers, I might add, that the office gives you to serve the people. If that is your true look, Isaac, I've read about Lee Kuan Yew. I've read about Seresi Khama. Watch the movie about Seresi Khama, my man. Watch that movie this weekend.
I watched that movie.
Isaac, that boy took nothing but a barren land. And nothing really grows in Botswana. And only with gem diamonds on it. And he turned that thing into a prosperous country. Botswana is one of the fastest growing economies sustained in Africa. They've had successful democratic transitions. The country is so stable. It works so well. It is not even funny. One of the least corrupt countries in the whole of Africa.
Wow.
With billions of dollars sitting in their sovereign wealth fund called the Polar Fund. Intergenerational equity. Plenty. Like what you said, we adopt a national agenda. When Isaac Vatukpa becomes president, this is the agenda. You must generate as much revenue as possible. Put some of that money away into this sovereign wealth fund, and then invest in foreign markets abroad to generate more money. And then no diamond revenue should go toward paying salaries and paying for foreign trips of government officials, but to go to expanding and improving our education system, providing better, massive low-cost housing units for the poor. I mean, Isaac, look. My man, Isaac, the thing pains me, my man.
It's very painful. And some people ask me, why do you stay up so late? Why are you so focused on Liberia? Why? Because the potential is there. And Costa, I don't know whether you have interacted with some of our real young people like from 5-year-old to like 15 years old. So many kids are so smart. So many kids just, but it's just so suppressed. Some of them don't even eat regularly. So their concentration, The focus
it's
is very limited. You can't do anything on empty stomach. You know, when you engage them, someone they talk. If you can only push them in the right direction, it will make a difference. And these are the kind of people that our country needs to really focus on. Our young people, getting them to the right position, let them be competitive with their peers. Look, I'm reading stuff about girls in Ghana doing robotics. I read something about young people learning coding. You know, what about us? Our people are smart. We can do the same thing. We have to give them the opportunity. That's why I always reach out to people. We have to help these young people. We have to work with them. We have to make sure there's some opportunity. But even we get 1 or 2 or 3 of them, under that pattern of what's happening in Liberia today. The opposite of what happened with Kwite, where his mom instilled, you know, even though she had the effects of the war, but she instilled the positivity of a country she loved, about Liberia, to him. And that opportunity was there that he took advantage of. He promised her, and he was successful with that promise. But we got other young people who the effects of the war are handed down to them in a negative way, that they themselves suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. They got all these mental reactions. They are violent in nature, you know, as they grow, because the suffering is so hard for our people that level of mindset to change, it would take serious emphasis. So we have work to do. In my generation, I will tell my peers, the people then who are like 45 to 65 in that age range, that we have to work. We can't give up on this country. We got to continue to work. We got to put in investment. We got to mentor people. Even if you can take 1 or 2 people that you can put under your wings and try to move them forward, do that, because we need it. That's why integration, this whole diaspora thing, this dual citizenship thing is so critical to the growth of Liberia. So, you know, the opportunity.
Thank you.
It's been fun as usual, but we really, more people need to do it, not few people. And it shouldn't be agenda driven. It should be really getting down to the issues, discussing it, pointing where we are going wrong. It's not about just blaming one set of people, but finding solutions and trying to implement some of those things that can work and change the lives of our people.
Thank you very much, folks.
Well, before I go, let me just say this. I'm wearing a t-shirt. You know, I'm a graduate of Costa Show University, and we are about to have an elections for our new leadership. I'm supporting the presidential and vice presidential candidates, Massa Morgan for president and Phoebe Koa for vice president. So for all the Scorpions out there, please get involved with the diaspora people. At some point, we're going global, where we just integrate the Liberia Alumni Association, that is the strength of the organization, with the diaspora. But for right now, we still have Costa Show University Alumni Association of the Americas, and we need all those Scorpions that are in. You probably have 1 day to register, which is today, because the registration ends, I think, May 1st. So that you get out there, register at the Costa Show University Alumni Association of the Americas website, and be a part of this thing, because we really need to look at our university and help it to get to the next level. Costa Show is behind where it's supposed to be. We should be a real, true bastion of education in our country. So let's help Cottington rejuvenate. We have our new president coming in very soon, in the president, Dr. Romel Horton, and we just hope that we can all rally around her to support our university and make it a wonderful institution of higher learning in Liberia again. So thank you, my man. Thank you.
Isaac, thank you very much. We look forward to having you back here next week. What should we talk about next week? What should we talk about?
So next week, let's talk about values. Let's talk about the way we can change our people's mindsets. Let's solicit from your people some of the mindset that, you know, kind of takes away from our progress. You know, how can we be better Liberians to each other? How can we show each other love?
A mindset change.
Yes, that whole process of mindset change. Let's talk about it. Let's sensitize your people a little bit more. Let's learn how we can work together better as Liberians. Let's collaborate. Not everybody just operate in their own space in a vacuum. The more we get together,
there has to be a value construct
definitely
that we all subscribe to as a country,
as a people. Yes, as a country. You know, that means that you, again, that whole thing about my role as a better role, a good person. No, we hold each other accountable. We put these values. What are the values, like you said, value construct of Liberia? You know, how can we be better citizens? The need for civic in our community again. So that's another area that we really need to push. The study of civic in schools is coming. We know the government been trying to work with that, but it needs to happen in the communities as well. People need to understand what responsible citizenship is, how they can hold each other accountable, how they can advocate for causes, how they can work together. What are the fundamental human rights here? What are the constitutional rights? How do they bring them together to be able to exhibit it as they, interact with other people, as they hold people accountable, as they work on projects together, as they work in government ministry, as they work in the private sector, or just as they engage day to day? How can we be better as a people? That kind of mindset change for us to not be crabs in a bucket, for us to not just focus on how can I just extract from you. I meet you here today. I want to see how I can script you that will leave for you. So we gotta work on those things as a people.
We do.
Yes. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully the people who are listening are absorbing some of these things and want to be able to exemplify some of these things in their own daily lives, work with other people, show more love to other Liberians. Let's help each other. Let's make this thing happen. Let's become a better country.
Thank you so much, Isaac Vatukba, and we look forward to having you next week on the program.
Thank you.
This has been an extended edition of the show today. And Bwaka, I want to say thank you very much. You and the team there. You guys have a lovely weekend. Somebody told me to drive you something yesterday. Bwaka, you know who I don't want? He laughed. Tell me the boy. Oh, wait, mama. You going to the Muslim morning?
Man, I'm a gamba. I'm a entire gun.
Okay.
Today's Friday.
All right. That's good. Okay, guys. Yeah. I will talk to you guys. I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, folks, have yourselves a good weekend. Thank you so much. We will be back here Monday. If something interesting comes up, as usual, I will do a podcast and I will talk to you about it. The discussions we've been having with Isaac Van talk about the things we've been talking about over the years. This is a Liberia that I want to see. This is a country that I'm fighting for. A Liberia that works for all of us, where the rule of law prevails, and not someone's interest, but the rule of law. Thank you so much. Yes.